Hello, beautiful people. It's Sinderfam. Welcome to the channel. Today, we're back again with another video from the Whatever podcast. Let's check it out.
We have another chat though while we wait for Andrew to come back. Stifler, ask everyone to rate their looks on a scale of 1 to 10. Their looks, physical looks, scale 1 to 10. We'll start with you. We'll go around the table. Go ahead.
8.
So 8.5.
8, 8.5.
I'm a 10.
7.
8.
6.5.
I'd say 7.58, 4.
That's lower than last time. Yeah. I used to say 6. I'm a 5.
In front of all these beautiful women, how could I ever not humble myself down to a 4, really?
Proud of you, Andrew.
Yeah.
Took guts.
I'm a 5. I give myself a 5. So wait, 8, 8.5, 10, 7? 8? Okay. All right.
Brian, you rated yourself lower than usual.
Yeah, I've been getting a little chubby.
6.5.
See, now that's humble.
Yeah, that's humility.
That's
right there.
humble. That's humility. Right? That's the thing that's usually harder for men to do. Just say it. Just point it out.
I've noticed a pattern here. I think men tend to fairly accurately self-assess their own level of physical attractiveness, whereas
I've heard
women
men
not so
have
much.
more self-esteem issues than women do.
What's that?
I've heard men have more self-esteem issues than women do.
I feel like I disagree a little.
Why would you say that?
Just, and I also heard that they're also more emotional.
Are they?
Who have you heard these
Yeah,
things
because
from?
well, I mean, you guys will act off based off pride, and that is going to be like an emotion thing, not necessarily logic.
Do you think men or women have more cosmetic surgery?
I think probably women.
Yeah, probably women. Do you think that that's because they have way more self-esteem than men?
I
That's a good
don't
point.
think that necessarily what I'm talking about is the same thing. I just mean
Nah,
like,
well, I think it is.
Symmetric.
well, for instance, you just rated yourself a 4, right?
Yeah.
And maybe people may not agree with you, and I just rated myself a 10, and people may not agree with me, right? But we're just talking about our self-esteem. My self-esteem is clearly higher than
No,
yours.
I'm not sure that we are. I think that what we're talking about is a value judgment. And I think that I'm making a way better value judgment than the value judgment that you're making. So the value judgment that I'm making is this. I'm old, and I'm married, and I'm out of shape, and I smoke, right? And I'm not a very pleasant person to be around for long periods of time, especially for the opposite sex. Like, I know all of these things about myself. So my value judgment overall is a 4. Tell me the value judgment of how you came to a 10.
Oh yeah, I just think that in general we should think that we are great.
Right, so you just decided it there's no value judgment there. You just decided it.
Yeah, he asked me what I would rate myself, and because it's my opinion
Looks.
about myself,
Just looks.
It took a long time for me to love myself, and I do now. And so yeah, I think that like, you know, I'm a Misty 10.
My question here is, why do these women or these ladies think they are 10, 8, or whatever, and they know the truth, but of course they will rather lie to themselves or be so delusional and claim they are 10. You see people who are not even up to average will still give themselves a 10. It's not making sense. At least from the guys' part, they were honest. But I mean, for the women and the ladies, they love to deceive themselves. It's crazy. I wish they can just be honest with themselves and place themselves where they belong. The world will be a better place. Or what do you think?
I have a question for you. But hold on, just one sec. Do you
And
think
you're a 7.5?
I said 8.
Oh.
Yeah, get it right.
How
Andrew.
did you
Get
come,
it right,
how did you
Andrew.
come to that value judgment?
Because I don't put within my value within a rigidity. That's not the right word. Rigidity. Thank you.
Rigidity, yeah.
I don't put that within that rigidity of certain, I guess,
Value judgments.
more subjective opinions about what value is, because I know my value, I know my worth, and I know my beauty that I hold within myself for myself, and that is appreciated by other people, because at the end of the day, beauty is subjective, and it is absolutely within my right to hold myself to a higher value and how I conduct myself in the world around me.
Yeah, but when you're talking about the value judgment here, my wife, I'm sure that she has a way higher value judgment of me than I have of me. I would agree that she probably should. From her subjective assessment, she probably thinks I'm a great provider. She thinks I'm a great father. She thinks I take care of all of my responsibilities and duties. She can 100% trust me. So she probably has this really high value judgment of me. But when I'm doing an actual assessment of me, like Andrew Wilson, the person, and my looks and how it's reflected outwards to other people, right? I'm adding this value, this value, this value, this value, this value, like a mathematical formula to come up with that equals 4. What are you doing to come up with that other than I just think that we should have high self-esteem so that because I just think so.
Because I know I'm a good person. Because frankly, if we want to get aesthetic, I don't have a busted face. I'm fat. And if people want to reduce my value because of my fatness, that's not my problem. And that is not the ideology I hold for myself. I am someone who is pursuing weight loss, not for aesthetics, not for looks, but for my health. And it is something I'm moving forward with because I have been for the past 2 to 3 years now working on my self-love and loving myself into a place to care enough about myself to take my health back into control. When I was being consistently shamed when I was gang stalked on r/fat people hate in 2015, when I have
Looks like it works.
I'm still speaking.
I mean, it looks like it works.
I'm still
right?
speaking.
It works because you're going to change.
You're really great at over talking and being disrespectful, and I'd love the opportunity to get my point across.
Okay, but so just to cut in here a little bit, the original question was rate your looks, because you mentioned your personality. You have a great personality or whatever it is.
And like I said, my fatness doesn't devalue me.
Why?
So I'm an 8.
Why doesn't it?
Because I think that fat can be beautiful. It's my assessment of my looks, right?
Yeah, but why is it that your own assessment of your looks has nothing to do with how the external world perceives you? That's my problem.
I don't give a shit.
Right, because you don't care, so there's no real value judgment.
I don't care about other people's opinion of me. It's not more important than the opinion I hold of myself.
Yeah,
and
it is.
If you don't live that way, that sucks for you.
If there's a value judgment of how you would self-assess your own looks, the only possible conceivable metric I could even think of would be the perception of how other people view you for your value judgment of how you look.
And I was in a relationship for almost 8 years with someone who thought my body was the most beautiful thing he had ever seen.
That was perceptive.
And he had told me that
those are the things that you
more often than not.
This is the thing, yeah. I am an 8 or I am a 10, and you have to see me as a 10, see me for my beautiful personality. And if you don't agree with me that I am a 10 or that I am an 8 or 9 or whatever grade I give myself, then it is a you problem. It is not my problem. Everybody's view assessment of how you look is not going to be the same. And honestly, the rate at which many women are so delusional to say they are a 10. So if you are a 10, who is the people, or who are the people winning the most beautiful girl in the world or prettiest girl in the world? Even those ladies who win the prettiest girl in the world or most beautiful girl in the world aren't that pretty. We still got people who are beautiful or more beautiful than those women. But all of a sudden, people say, oh, judge me for my personality. Nobody is freaking looking at your personality, or people don't judge your personality. The first thing they look or the first thing they see is your look before your personality, by which they must have interacted with you and all of that. But of course, you have to agree with me that I am a 10, and you must see me that I am a 10 because I have worked so hard to love myself to come to a 10. It doesn't work like that all the time. It doesn't work like that. When are these women going to realize that it is okay for you not to be average, or it is okay for you not to be up to 6, and it is fine?
Go ahead.
He had told me that more often than not.
Wait, can you speak straight into
Yeah, he had told me that more often than not. I have been pursued by many men who think I am gorgeous and beautiful. That perception exists whether you have it or not.
Okay, so assume for a second I can assume inside of, like, I can envision a world where you're the only human being who's inside of the world.
And guess what? I'll
And
never
if
be
you're
the only one who thinks
and
I'm
if
hot,
you're-
and I know that bugs the shit out of you.
If you're the
dude.
only human being who's inside of a
of his
world,
own
I can
low
perceive,
self-esteem opinion.
I can perceive that I can come up with whatever metric I want for myself because I have nothing to compare it to. So if I have nothing to compare it to and I have nobody else's value judgment, then I can say I'm the most beautiful person who's ever lived, and that would be true. But if I have the value judgment of hundreds of millions of people to compare the standard to, and I know that I'm below that threshold and just decide that I'm above that threshold anyway,
I'm not the only
that's not
person who
based
makes
on
that
anything
decision.
objective. You're just making shit up.
No, I'm
Literally
not,
asked us
babe.
our opinion. So yes, it was a made-up opinion from us.
Yeah, it is. For sure.
Yeah,
It's
but that
way
was the point.
overstated.
That
what's
was the
true.
point. The only person who's not happy
Your
about that is you.
perception of your truth is not the same for myself or
Thank you. Amen,
anyone
hold
else.
it back.
Yeah, what is truth in a world that you're an eight?
And what societal standards in which country?
I must
In
bug the
every
shit
country
out of
on planet Earth, she's not an
Respectfully-
8.
Wait, what?
You're ridiculous.
I don't-
It's ridiculous.
In different
let's
places,
be
different
nice.
people
Let's
like
keep
different
things
things.
you. Yeah, he's so combative, bro. It's wild.
Well,
He gets very upset and then he
I
turns
live,
against
I
you.
live
So
in
mad at him,
reality.
bro.
Do you know what
And
reality
that
is?
is the bottom line here, and I've been respectful. We're how many
It's not
hours in?
disrespectful. I'm just telling you what's true.
Oh, what was
I think it's
what
like
was
the
the flip about me
energy.
being a mother, bro?
that
the
was
energy
me.
you put towards it.
That was me
Guys,
being
let's,
able to.
No,
It's
I'm not.
interesting- it's
I'm not
interesting to
gonna. I
claim-
have been taking it respectfully for hours now.
But to be fair, also, it's interesting to claim to be so religious and so close to Jesus and be so negative.
To tell the truth?
No, I'm just saying, just to be so
What would
negative.
Jesus do? He'd
He
be
would
like,
tu-
"You're a 10,
he would literally
sweetheart.
turn the other
Forget
cheek.
objective
He would
reality."
turn the other cheek.
if I believed in
He would
Jesus,
turn the
he
other
would love
cheek.
me as one of God's children.
Yes.
He would have known that
Yes.
it's my
Your
journey and my
negativity
life.
is
But he would know
embarrassing
you're
to the
fat too,
religious
whether he
claim
loved
that
you
Yeah,
or not.
and you know what? Being fat is not bad.
It's embarrassing though to
And
claim
that's
the
the
religion you
fundamental
have,
disagreement we
which is
have.
how
Insane.
negative. you
Just
speak.
fucking crazy.
It is. Yeah,
Like-
there's going to be other people who are going to be like, I don't claim this because it's like this is part of the reason why you're hypocritical.
There's
It's
no
for
hypocrisy.
You claiming to love and be this one big thing, and then to be so negative instead of encouraging or say even anything in actually
Love thy
constructive
neighbor,
way,
unless you're
form of
fat, right?
encouragement
in
is what
actually
she's
a
getting.
constructive way, you kind of just get pink and start yelling.
So this is how it goes. So yesterday I was walking down the road. A guy told me I am a 10. So I think I am a 10. And the couple of hours ago I was walking down the road and another guy told me I am a 10. So I am also a 10. And another guy just waved at me and said, "Oh, you're the most beautiful girl in the world." And I also see myself as the most beautiful girl in the world. Come off it. When are these women? You see how the truth is making lots of these women angry and triggered. Because, excuse you, because somebody is telling you that you're a 10, does that mean that you're a 10? So if somebody comes and tell somebody that the person is a queen, does that mean the person is a queen? So the person should start seeing themselves as a queen? What is it with these modern women? The truth is so hard for them to bear. It's so unbearable. They can't even live or sit or dwell with the truth that they can't without getting triggered. It's not making sense. You are not a 10. It is okay. You're not the most beautiful girl in the world. It is okay. And not everybody is going to live in your delusion. It is that simple to see you as a 10 or the most beautiful girl in the world.
The only way,
Yeah, he gets real like.
the only way
Pink and
that I
starts
can get a word in when you shrill harpies are screeching is for me to talk loudly.
Oh no, you're really great at
You
over
do it
talking. It's one of your
regardless.
best
You've been doing
qualities.
it
You've
respectfully
Well, I have to
tonight.
cut down on the prattle. That's true.
Push back on Pink after all of that.
I'm a terrible moderator. Okay, I'm a dog shit moderator. Okay, hold on. Let me just come in really quick. All right, put your swords away for just a sec. The views expressed by the panelists do not necessarily reflect the views of me or the whatever podcast. Now, you said. Okay, I have a question for you.
What?
Do you I think you said women should view themselves better.
Not just women, people in general.
Oh, in general. But so do you think all women should view themselves as 10s?
I would love them to, yes, and not because everyone also agrees with them.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are all women 10s?
I'm attracted to men.
No, I'm not saying whether you're attracted to them, but I'm
Yeah,
sure
so
you
but
could.
that
I'm
has
sure
to
you
do
can
with- it's
recognize a
perceptive.
beautiful woman.
perceptive.
But do you think all women are 10s?
In their own right, for sure.
Not sure what that means, but okay. Are all men 10s?
In their own right, for sure.
No, but do you think all men are 10s?
In their own right, for sure.
I don't really understand
I
own
can
right, for
appreciate
sure.
I can appreciate things that I'm not necessarily attracted to. Does that make sense?
But do you think...
So in your eye, are all men 10s? Like just aesthetically, so just by looks.
And women.
Okay, so
and women.
Okay.
Because I know that someone thinks they're a 10, in my mind, that's good enough to be part of the 10, yes. Would I necessarily date them? Maybe not.
Well,
but as far as like believing they're a 10, I know, for instance, is ice cream bad just because someone doesn't like the ice cream? No, everyone's gonna have their different opinion of it. And so the fact that someone likes green mint ice cream, for me, it might not be my percent, but does it make it bad ice cream? No, it could still be good ice cream. So for that person, maybe they're not necessarily, would I date them, but do I believe they should think they are a 10 is what I said earlier. Yes, I believe they should think they are a 10. I think all people should love themselves.
So if we ask the question a different way,
it sucks so much to not love yourself.
And said, if you mapped it onto reality, if you just mapped it onto reality, then what would you say? I was talking
about some other thing.
Yeah, what would you say then if you mapped it onto reality?
What do you mean?
Are all women's 10 if you mapped it onto reality, rather than how you kind of subjectively feel like they should feel about themselves?
Yeah.
If you were to map it onto reality outside of that subjective analysis,
I think it would vary depending on where I'm at.
You're in Kazakhstan.
I don't know what the women are like.
So what would you say? For example, what would you say?
Stacked.
What would you say Scarlett Johansson would be aesthetically, cross culturally to most men? Do you think most men would find her attractive?
Russian milk.
It depends on I'm only talking from someone who you guys all would not find to be attractive. Like, I'm not someone you're into, but I know there's men who think that I'm the shit. Sure. And different countries I go, like we were talking about it last time, like I might be like, and someone was clowning, they're like, she's not a Seattle 10, but like, I think it really depends on where you're at.
What country could Scarlett Johansson be considered not pretty in?
I don't know, I haven't been to all the countries.
Could you even envision that there is one?
I could, yeah.
You could?
What would you speculate?
I would speculate
She's okay.
The area where it would be attractive would be in a culture where the people look like that.
Like Sweden.
So you don't
Scandinavian
think?
countries.
So what you saying? Europe? Just Europe in general?
I mean, sure, it depends on. I mean, I just think
you don't think Africa either.
It depends. I'm probably South Africa. I don't know. I mean, it just depends. Like, I'm going to go different places and people are going to receive me different. I was considered to be beautiful in China, but not necessarily someone they would be attracted to, if that makes sense. And when I went to Trinidad, I was the shit. In California, people don't really care that much because I'm not necessarily their societal standards of beauty. So I really think it depends on where I'm at or where the person's at.
I'm not trying to be mean here, but
No one's a 10.
Facts.
I don't think you're a 10.
I know, you said that.
What did she say?
7.
See, look, Catholic. That's why.
Okay, what, Andrew? But honestly, most of these women, I wish they would just come out of their delulu or come out of their delusion and live in reality. Every woman or every lady cannot be a 10. Every guy cannot be a 10. There are numbers for a reason. Do you think every woman is the prettiest woman in the world? So who is pretty over the other? But of course, just because some group of people look at you and say, oh, you're so pretty, or you're the prettiest girl they've seen, then you too, you say, this person told me that I'm the prettiest girl in the world. What if they keep telling other girls they're the prettiest, all of them they're the prettiest? That's how all of them will move around and say, oh, yesterday some guy told me that I'm the prettiest, or I went to a particular country and they told me that I'm the prettiest, therefore I'm the prettiest overall. Come off it. These women should understand all women are not 10. But this argument, I mean, we cannot settle it because most of the time these women, they get all offended when you tell them the truth because they can't handle the truth and it hurts their baby feelings. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. I'm sure tons of people have interesting things to share. I would really love to share that. Can share the useful information you think might be really helpful. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe on all of that stuff. And until next time, see you in the next video.